Welcome everyone. All right, welcome back to another training video. It is Thursday here in my world. It is Thursday at 6 p.m. and I am on a commute ruck. So I am rucking. This bag is bloody heavy. Like, I've only been walking for just over 1 kilometer and I can already feel the strain in my shoulders and in my back, which is good. That's what it's for, right? So out here rucking again today. I've got a 90-minute ruck that I'm going to be doing. Probably be about 9 to 9.5 kilometers, maybe 10, somewhere around there. And then I'll save the jogging and running for tomorrow on the way back to this commute that I'm doing at the moment. So within this video, I'm going to be going over why some clients need to actually not focus on a weight loss phase straight out of the bat, when even though they have goals of weight loss. So there's many times where I have clients that will call me up and say, hey, I want to lose some weight. This is what I'm doing, yada, yada, yada. I can't lose any weight. You know, I want to lose 5, 10, 15 kilos, whatever it may be. I'm going to go over reasons as to 3 reasons why sometimes you can't just go for that weight loss right away. Because I've had a couple of conversations with a couple of clients lately, and this seems to be something that pops up pretty regularly, to be honest. You know, people want to go, right, I want to lose weight, and they attempt to lose weight straight away. But there's 3 things, or at least 3 sort of subjects that I think needs to be considered, which is really frustrating, and it's really, really hard for the clients to know this. There's 3 things for the people to go over, maybe before you dive in. Anyway, I'm gonna get hiking, gonna get walking, and we'll have that little bit of a chat. Now, before I get too far deep, if you want a little bit more information about why I'm rucking, so rucking is just carrying a bag with a bit of weight in it, and power walking, go to a video which was about 2 videos ago, and it'll give you a little bit more detail. But as I suggested, I'm going to go over 3 subjects now, just in relation to some weight loss goals. Clients that have weight loss goals, and you know what, majority of the clients that I work with, particularly initially, start with me because they want to lose weight. So number 1 is your relationship with food. When I meet a lot of people who have weight issues, usually there's a pretty negative relationship with their diet or food that they eat, meaning that they sort of put things that they're either on the bandwagon or they're off the bandwagon is an example. If you ever find yourself saying that, that's definitely a food relationship issue. In addition to that, you've also got some foods that you might cut out. You know, you attempt to cut foods out, and you do that, you exhaust yourself on that avenue, but you don't see a lot of results, and then obviously you let that food come back in, aka you're starting this sort of failure cycle where you attempt to do something and then you don't follow through on it, or you can't follow through on it. Now, this is something that I will work with almost every client, is their initial weight loss phase actually starts with building a better relationship with food. Now, what does that involve? Is it allows the time for the client to understand that food is actually on your side. There seems to be this thought that, you know, calories are the only thing that matter when it comes to like improving your weight loss results. And I beg to differ. I really think that yes, while they are important, we can sort of get a bit sidetracked on, you are bound by your urges. You are bound by how you feel on a daily basis, and what you eat really dictates on how you feel, how you behave, and you know what sort of choices that you make. Now, that sounds kind of weird, but your food choices will make you choose different food choices depending on what you had eaten. And starting with a client on these sorts of things becomes really important because it sets them up for success later on when the weight loss becomes a little bit harder, or they hit a plateau and they need to understand, you know, that 300 calories from a piece of steak and 300 calories from some vegetables and some fruit will not achieve the same results as 300 calories from chocolate. Now, if you're a robot and you can just follow a path to a T and micronutrients don't really, you know, matter because you're a robot, well, you know, maybe you can get away with that. But us as humans, we need nutrition. And what you eat is very, very important because it, like I've suggested, it also causes different behaviors down the track. So this first one that I work with clients is understanding that it's okay to actually eat. Because I get some clients that start by eating nothing and then they eat too much of something. And it's this horrible cycle of not eating because they're trying to lose weight, famining and dieting so aggressively, and then giving up or going out on a social setting and, you know, eating something that they shouldn't, and that turns into a binge or turns into a whole night where, or a whole weekend where they're, you know, not following their diet. That is a negative relationship with food. And I, as their coach, I really can't help them until we get this in order. Has to be fixed first or improved. So improving their relationship with food is very, very important. Part 2 will go a little bit more in detail. Okay, so let's get into my second subject that I think that people need to consider when dieting is, what do you do when your body is urging you to eat more? Or another way to look at it is, what do you eat when your body is needing a lot more? This is something that I find is a really good tool to help clients. Is when a client is so motivated and they're ready to lose weight and they've made that decision, many people attack quality of the food and the quantity all at the same time, meaning that they dramatically shift their diet as to what they're eating. Eat clean, you know, eat healthy, all those sorts of things, right? Remove all the junk food from their diet, which obviously is a good thing for them to be doing. But in doing that, they then also dramatically reduce their intake. Now, what happens is you can do that for whether it's days or whether it's weeks, but eventually your body's going to ask you or urge you to seemingly eat more and to, you know, robustly go, oh, I'm starving. And when the clients have just removed all the junk food from their diet and they've eaten really little really quickly, they haven't really taught themselves, okay, when the body asks for food, when the body is, you know, needing energy, what do I eat? And generally that client or that person will just go back to eating all of the same shit that they used to eat, and that's where you can start to see binge tendencies, overeating tendencies, or really poor relationship with food, which kind of goes back to point number 1. But getting a client, or having a client understand what foods that they can be gravitating towards when they really need to eat, you know, like those days where you're just like, man, I'm just exhausted and I'm starving. What do you eat in those scenarios? Because I bet you bottom dollar, if you're trying to lose weight, you're gonna have those days, and you need to have a little bit of a tool or a little bit of a plan up your sleeve as to how you will combat that moment. Now, in general, if I haven't got a client that understands how to eat more of foods that make them feel really good, well, when these moments happen, they just go straight back to their junk-filled diet, and away we go on this whole roller coaster scenario again. And if your aim is to lose weight and keep it off, having that roller coaster is not ideal. That's subject number 2. Wait for number 3. All right, this is where you gotta lose yourself a little bit in it. This is Hurt Locker. I got sweat in my eyes. I can't see a thing. I'm tired. I'm uncomfortable. And that last snippet that that you saw was 21 hours ago. So it's a new day here. It is Friday, and I am on commute home for what will be a very, very short rest for about 5 hours before I am back into some calls with some clients. This is what I love. This is what I absolutely, even though I'm in so much pain and just that fatigue, I love pushing it. I love seeing what I've got to give when I feel like I've got nothing to give. That's what it's all about. And this is me right here, right now, sweat in the eyes. It's like 36, 37 degrees. The tar's hot. The cars are noisy. I'm uncomfortable. I got 3 Ks. And my commute run is over. Why am I hurting so bad? I've done just under 50,000 steps in the last 21 hours. My legs are tired and my brain is tired. Now, before we get into point number 3, before my brain gives away, training is not always like this, but I have a bit of a different pursuit these days. I love being healthy, I love being fit, but I really love pushing my limits on just what I can get done in 24 hours or in 7 days. Let's go back 2.5 years ago. I reckon I have tripled my work capacity in just 2 years, which is unreal. Hey, you might say it's a little bit unhealthy, but I suppose there is going to be an end date to it, so I'm going to live it up while I can. Point number 3 for this weight loss and for something that I need to get my clients ready for is very, very important. So don't miss that one out. If you have any comments, if you've done something in a hurt locker lately, hey, put it down below. Tell me what it is. Did you do a ruck? Did you do a run? And it just felt like shit, but you did it anyway. We're on that grind, baby. All right, 3rd point coming up. Need a little walk. God, it's hot. My body is not used to the heat, but there's only one way to get used to it. It's just sit in it. And that's what I'm doing. 7 down, 2K to go. Come on. Just to clarify, your training does not need to be like this all the time, because it probably doesn't look very nice. But my deepest opinion is that if majority of your training is good, consistent training that allows you to feel better, train probably pretty frequently, if not every day, rest very minimally, you're on the right track. And then just every now and then, it is good to give yourself a bit of a kick and to do something a bit uncomfortable. I don't know if it's good for the body or it's probably more good for the mind. And for me, I'm taking it as a win for the mind. I'm closing my eyes as I try to wipe the sweat out of my eyes. But this for me is just a mental win, is that I'm all right, I'm at a barrier. I can do something about it and fold, or I can do something about it and press on. And I'm definitely deciding to press on, with probably every ounce of my body just saying, hey mate, come on, 38 degrees. Just chill the fuck out. But I don't know. The more that I push myself, and the more that I push that barrier, the more that I can keep doing. Go back a couple of years ago, there's no way I would have been doing this. But if I never tried, I would never have done it. So this is good. I just need to sit in this moment, because in less than 2K is the car. There's a nice cold drink and some aircon. So this bit of uncomfortableness is only temporary. And that in this sucking moment is so hard to actually understand. But the more you practice it, the more you can appreciate it. And that's what I'm doing right now. Discipline is like a muscle. It's like good training programs, allows you to do more and more, physically or mentally. That third point's got to come up soon. If your goal is weight loss, don't miss this third part.